Welcome everyone, in this video we will get all our YouTube videos in a single file, a CSV file, that then we might use in other bigger projects, also using AI, for example, to optimize or ask something about our YouTube channel and get some information for our future videos. I think it is a very interesting project, especially since we are on YouTube now, so if you have a YouTube channel, this might be very interesting for you. We will use Rust as a programming language to create this simple program that fetches these videos, but you can also use any programming language you want. Let's get started. All the code, of course, is available on GitHub. The first step is to go on the Google Cloud Platform website. You will see something similar to this, and here you can create a new project. Click on the button and you can give any name you want, for example YT-fetcher, because we will fetch our videos. Click create. This will take some seconds and then we will have our project. Then we need to enable some APIs, because this is a generic Google project. We need to enable YouTube API. In this case, we will use YouTube Data API version 3. Click on this. Enable. Now you need to create credentials. I don't know why this didn't work, but we can also click here on the side credentials, create credentials, API key, this will be a simple one, and then we can copy this API key. We will use this in the upcoming project. Now, to create a new Rust project, we can type cargo new YT_fetcher. It's super fast. We step into that directory and then we open this with any IDE we want. For example, VS Code. Here we have a basic Rust project. The Cargo.toml file is for the dependencies. We need request, which is used for HTTP requests. Version 0.11 and the feature JSON. Tokyo is used for async operations in Rust. Third is to serialize and deserialize objects in JSON format. CSV is a create to write to CSV files, and then .env is to read a local .env file. Let's create this file .env, and then YouTube _API_key. Here you should copy paste your YouTube API key. Now let's go on the main file. Let's start from scratch and let's start with the import. Use request client, use third_JSON value, and then CSV writer, because we'll just write to a file here. We use .env to read this .env file, and also std env from the standard library. We don't need to add that in the Cargo.toml file. Let's start with the attribute Tokyo main, so we can have an asynchronous main function. Async function main that returns a result, and inside here empty and then box in case of error. Let's import the configuration, so the .env file. We have an error, but this will go away soon. And then we read the API key as an environment variable named YouTube_API_key. And if we get an error here, we'll return this message. YouTube API key must be set. And then we need the channel ID. In this case, I will put my own channel. This is the channel you are currently watching. Then we need to fetch the video. We will write a separate function, and inside this function we will also write to the CSV file. And then OK for now. Let's create the fetch videos function, async fn fetch_videos, and as parameters API key, which is of type string slice, and channel ID also string slice. And this will return a result, a vector of values serialized by third, or a box that will return an error. Curly brackets, and then we can start writing our function. The syntax is a bit intimidating, but once you get used, it totally makes sense. Let client equal client new. This is to make the HTTP request. Let mute videos. We need a mutable variable here of type vector of values, initialized as new. We also need another mutable variable, page token, which will be a string, because we need different tokens if we have more than 50 videos. I have more than 50 videos on this channel, about 500. We have an error, but this will go away soon. Let's write a loop and then let URL equal format, and then I will copy paste this, which is the URL that we'll use to get this list of videos. All the code is available on GitHub, so no worries. We are doing a request to the Google APIs. And then we also need the API key, the channel ID, and the page token to be put in those curly brackets. And then we can define a response from this client. We make a GET request and then send await. And then if the response status is not success, you see the exclamation mark there, we need to handle the error. Println API request failed with status, and then the response status. And we can also print the response body. This is good for debugging response.text.await. And then we return the error with a custom message, API request failed.into. Otherwise, we declare a variable called JSON of type value from third equal response.json.await. In this case, we already had a successful response. If let some error, we might still have an error, maybe from the API, JSON get error and then print API return an error. Here we are getting an error from the API, and maybe we want to return the error so we can understand what's going on. And then we return the error with API return an error, this is the message, .into. And then if let some items, so if we get something, items as array, videos.extend items.clone. We are storing these videos in this array. And then if let some next page token equal JSON next page token dot str string page token equal to the next page token dot to string. Otherwise, else, we just break the loop. And then at the end, we can return an OK with videos. We are returning a result here. We need one more function to write to the CSV file, fn write _to _CSV. And we need this videos object of type vector of values. And this will return a result with empty parentheses, otherwise a box that will contain the error. Curly brackets, let mute wtr equal writer from path, and then the name of the file we want, Francesco _Ciulla _videos.csv. This is the name of the file. Feel free to modify this accordingly to your name or whatever resource you are fetching. wtr.write _record with ampersand video ID title description published at. And then for each video in videos, let snippet equal ampersand video snippet wtr.write record ampersand video ID as string unwrap or empty string, and then snippet title dot as string dot unwrap or empty string. I think every video will have a title, but just in case, snippet we can copy paste here. We need two more, one for the description and one for the date of publication. And I think there will be some videos without description, maybe a quick live stream. Question mark at the end, wtr.flush. This is just to clean up the writer once we are done. And then OK at the end. in the main function, we need to change the line 14. We need to call the fetch videos function, and inside that function, we will also write the CSV file. We'll use a match statement. I'm a huge fan of the match statement. Match fetch videos, ampersand API key, need a reference here. For the channel ID, we can just use it as it is. We can also use a reference, and then .await curly brackets in case of OK. So the fetch videos function return actually a list of videos. We do OK videos and then arrow. We can print a message. For example, the number of videos that has been fetched curly brackets videos with videos.len. We call this function to know the number of videos we fetched. In case we get an empty list of videos, this is a bit strange, we print this message, no videos found. Otherwise, if the list of videos is not empty, we write this to the CSV file. And then at the end, we print videos written to CSV. Otherwise, in case of error, arrow, curly brackets, and then we return this message, println error fetching videos. And probably we want to return the error here. This might be useful for debugging. If let some request underscore error, so if we get an error from request, equal e.downcast, the reference, of type request error, curly brackets, if let some status equal request error dot status, we print http status, curly brackets, and then the status. This might be useful. We close the curly bracket here, and then I think we are done. We have just a little warning, but this should not cause big issues. Let's try it out. Let's open a terminal, cargo run. We still have this warning, fetched 501 videos. And here you can see all my videos with video ID, title, description. There is a typo in the title, but that's not a problem. And the date of publication. This might be very useful, for example, to understand something about my YouTube channel or get some data. Or maybe it can be used in a bigger project.